Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive shift in corporate communications. We're talking about how to stop writing those outdated legacy press releases and start building AI-ready, highly visible digital knowledge assets. Seriously, if you want your company's news to actually be found in today's wild AI-driven landscape, instead of just getting buried under a mountain of outdated content, you are in exactly the right place. Let's kick things off with a bit of a harsh reality. If you're running a microcap company, and you're still formatting your news releases like it's, say, 2019, well, you are practically invisible to modern search engines. The hard truth here is that if your announcements aren't specifically designed to be digested by artificial intelligence, those massive corporate milestones you've worked so hard for, they might be getting completely overlooked, no matter how groundbreaking the actual news is. So, how do we fix this visibility crisis? We're going to unpack a highly specific playbook developed by PRISM MediaWire, or PMW for short. They've engineered this incredibly comprehensive approach to bridge that huge gap between traditional news distribution and modern AI information discovery. Basically, their framework makes sure that every single piece of news you put out is perfectly readable by human investors, but at the exact same time, it's optimized from the ground up for machine algorithms. It's really the best of both worlds. Okay, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to cover 1. The AI search evolution. 2. Moving from SEO to machine readability. 3. The anatomy of an AI-ready press release. 4. PMW AI optimization tools. And finally, number 5, the micro-cap strategic advantage. Let's dive right in. Starting off with section 1, the AI search evolution. Historically, press releases went straight to journalists and investors through newswires. But today, the game has completely changed. AI platforms are stepping in as the new gatekeepers. They're active intermediaries now. So instead of a user just passively clicking a link on a newswire, large language models are out there actively analyzing your structure and your context. They're literally evaluating your authority to decide, hey, is this a credible source worth summarizing for the user? You basically have to serve two masters now, the human reader and the AI system. Which brings us to Section 2, SEO to machine readability. The absolutely crucial concepts to grasp here are AEO, answer engine optimization, and GEO, generative engine optimization. Think of these as the new digital language of the internet. And these aren't just trendy buzzwords, folks. They represent a massive shift in how you need to structure your data. You have to format your content so that generative models can easily extract it. Your ultimate goal is to make absolutely sure these AI systems recognize your company as a reliable, authoritative source that is actually worthy of being summarized and directly cited in their answers. The contrast here is genuinely fascinating when you think about it. Look, traditional SEO was all about baiting human clicks, right? You wanted to direct traffic to your site and artificially climb those static search rankings. But machine readability, totally different ballgame. It is about actively teaching AI systems about your specific entities, your corporate relationships, and your overarching topics using highly structured information. It's no longer just about getting a quick click. It's about becoming the trusted, foundational knowledge that an AI model literally relies on to answer user questions. All right, let's move to the main event, Section 3, the AI-ready press release. This is the PMW blueprint. It all starts at the very top with your headline. It's got to be short, punchy, keyword-focused, and absolutely no more than 60 characters. And critically, please, if you only take one thing away from today, let it be this: do not include ticker symbols in your headline. I mean it. Machines simply do not read them as keywords. They just see it as clutter. Save that ticker symbol for later in the release, where it actually belongs. Next up is your descriptive subheadline. This element should be capped at exactly 160 characters. Why that specific number? Because that length creates the absolute optimal summary for search engine results pages, or SERPs. Hitting that 160-character sweet spot gives you the perfect amount of room to squeeze in one or two additional, highly relevant keywords without getting awkwardly cut off by the search engine before the user can even read it. Then, you need to embrace the power of 3. Right before your main text begins, PMW mandates a maximum of 3 bullet points. This acts as a rapid-fire summary. It lets AI models instantly parse your main takeaways before they even touch the body paragraphs. By doing this, both traditional search engines and generative models know exactly what they're looking at and why it matters right out of the gate. Beyond those rapid-fire limits at the top, PMW has a very specific structural architecture to build your digital authority. First, you need a comprehensive introductory paragraph that leaves absolutely no stone unturned. Next, keep your body paragraphs short and punchy. You absolutely must include backlinks to both third-party sites and your own domain to build up that web of authority. Also, make sure to format your multimedia correctly so it can actually be indexed. And finally, wrap the whole shebang up with a tight About section and complete contact data. And yes, that includes your crucial investor relations links and RSS feeds.
But here is a fascinating twist. In a blueprint that's almost entirely optimized for machines, authenticity is still your absolute trump card. PWM explicitly warns against using AI to generate your executive commentary. Natural language and a personal touch are vastly preferable here. Both AI systems and human readers can spot a robot from a mile away. So, the golden rule? Structure the release for the machine, but let the humans actually speak for themselves.
Now, this might literally be the most powerful answer engine optimization tactic PMW recommends, the FAQ section. You should anticipate what a shareholder or analyst might ask and include 4 to 5 human questions and answers right there in the release. By doing this, you're essentially spoon-feeding the answer engine. You're providing the exact conversational data it requires to learn about your company, making it incredibly easy for the AI to confidently extract and cite your info. Now that we have the blueprint, let's look at Section 4, PMW AI Optimization Tools. You essentially have a do-it-yourself or a done-for-you path here. You can choose the DIY route with the PMW GPT agent, where you simply upload your Word doc and follow the bot's instructions to run the optimization yourself. Or, if you prefer, you can let PMW do the heavy lifting with their patented Globe Newswire SOAR framework. If you go with SOAR, PMW handles all the formatting and delivers a highlights document along with a fully optimized final draft completely ready for distribution. Pretty great, right? Finally, let's look at Section 5, Microcap Strategic Advantage. Look, microcaps often struggle to be heard over the deafening noise of thousands of other issuers. It's a classic David versus Goliath scenario. But by partnering with PMW, smaller companies suddenly have the structural firepower to feed the AI ecosystem at the exact same level as the corporate giants. With targeted financial media distribution, unlimited word counts, and free multimedia integration, microcaps can publish these highly structured, visually engaging stories without constantly worrying about budget constraints holding back their discoverability. It's a real game changer. And PMW offers one final, absolutely brilliant pro tip for maximizing your web authority. Always post the announcement to your own website's news section first, and create an HTML link. When you share the news on social media, share your link. Don't send that hard-earned traffic to a newswire site. Drive it straight back to your own domain to compound your own SEO, build your digital presence, and train the AI that your website is the definitive source of truth. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to look closely at your corporate communication strategy and ask yourself a really hard question. Is your next corporate announcement going to be just another legacy disclosure, or is it meticulously structured to be a highly visible digital knowledge asset? Are you building content to be found by tomorrow's AI, or are you going to be buried and forgotten in yesterday's search engines? It is a critical choice. Structure your news for the future. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.